Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Critical Science Podcast. This will be the last episode. Yes, this is the final one. I am going to be looking to do other things, other projects that demand my attention. So this will be the final one, but I want to leave you with a few parting thoughts. So first off, I want to thank you all for listening, being loyal listeners, and helping me get the word out, helping to grow the listenership. That was great, and I appreciate it. I think one of the things that I want people to walk away from this with this one last parting thought, and I think it's probably Daniel Kahneman. I think is the it was from his book Thinking Fast and Slow. This is what I want you to take away. So many of us approach most things in our daily lives thinking fast. And fast thinking is, where we use our biases, and we are typically just making very quick decisions based on stereotypes, for instance. So we're taking mental shortcuts, and this is good, and it's okay. And it's not that we should always think slowly. We do need to make fast decisions about lots of things every day. We may use our biases and preconceived notions in order to come to these, and that's not always a bad thing, such as when you're picking out breakfast cereal, right? You don't want to sit there and agonize over all the different things about breakfast cereal, how it tastes, what the texture is, all those different things, the price. Price is probably a very important component to your breakfast cereal decision. But what I want to make sure is that people are aware of the fact that there's also slow thinking. And I think, especially in science, and especially when the press are talking about science, we have to be a little bit more slow in our thinking. And we do need to take a break, and we do need to look at the study. We need to actually find the study if we can, read the study. And I think this is important for the public as well, is to really think about what is it that they're saying, and do they have evidence to back this up? Now, you don't have to be an expert in that field to look at a plot and say, this is what they're showing me, and this makes sense, or this doesn't make sense. Sure, the studies aren't necessarily made for the lay public, but you can still ask questions like, what's missing here? Are they taking leaps of faith? Things like that. There's the tip sheet that I had, the 7 tips, work through that as well. But I think we need to, in general, do a better job of slowing down and really thinking critically. And that's one of the new projects that I'll be working on, is trying to help people do a better job of critical thinking, critical analysis. And, critical science was kind of a way for me to express some of those things. But what I found with critical science is that where I was going with it was probably a few steps ahead. And really what we need to take a step back. And so rather than putting it under the brand of critical science, which I don't think is exactly the best thing to do, I want to create a new product that's focused more on how do we actually critically think, and in coaching people through this process. And to me, that's a little bit more of an important thing that needs to happen. And maybe I should have focused on that a little bit more than I just did with jumping into things. But anyway, be that as it may, that's kind of the parting thought that I want you guys to have. I want you to come away from this experience, hopefully, with a better idea as to how to assess science, with a better understanding of the fact that there's a lot of what I would call pseudoscience out there. And I know that some of you disagree with my use of the term pseudoscience. I personally have a very high bar for what I call science, and that is good science. And maybe sometime I'll write a little bit more about why I have a very low bar for calling things pseudoscience. And that'll happen some other time. But anyway, that's what I want to leave with you today. So that's kind of it. It's been a good run. I really enjoyed critical science. I thought it was a good way of getting some of my frustration about science out there. I know a lot of you agreed with it. I know several people disagreed with me, and that's fine. I enjoyed the disagreements. I enjoyed the back and forth, and the discussion. That's something that I don't get a lot, and so I do enjoy the pushback. But anyway, So this is the end. Isn't that crazy? And I'll be coming up with another podcast probably soon. We'll see. But anyway, this was for those of you who don't know, the whole reason why I put together Critical Science was kind of a way for me to fill some of my void time that I had. It was also I used to do broadcast stuff, and so this was a fun way of getting back into the broadcast side of things. I haven't done in over 20 years. Yeah, probably over 20 years, maybe. Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was definitely in college. So that was fun. But anyway, I'll see all of you. You can find me on Twitter at DataCybergoon. And, if you have things you want to talk about, that's a great place to do it. Anyway, thanks everyone for listening, and thanks for making Critical Science a success. It's I definitely wanted to end it on a high note, and we got a lot more listeners and a lot more feedback than I was ever expecting. I was initially expecting this might be me and like a couple of my neighbors listening to it, and just as a way for me to get back into the broadcast side. But this has been amazingly successful, and I want to thank all of you who were listening for participating and keeping me honest and challenging my ideas. I really appreciate that. Anyway, good luck in what you do, and hopefully I'll have something new that you might enjoy later on. All right, thanks. Have a great day.